Neighbors makes its way to number 4 in my rankings. This is the highest it's been since I started this in the fall. And it's jumped, I believe, 4 spots from December here for January 2022. Yeah, the Australian soap opera is one of the more watchable soap operas right now. And yes, a lot of them jumping in my rankings has to do with the fact that Days of Our Lives is unwatchable to me, and Young of the Restless is boring, and General Hospital is frankly making awful decisions, and Emmerdale's dumbed down, and EastEnders is still, and Hollyoaks is getting on my nerves. So yeah, the other soap operas going down help Neighbours come up. But I also think Neighbours is just, it's far from great, but it's good enough soap opera for me right now for January. I really wish it was easier to get Australian soap operas in America or New Zealand soap operas in America, but you really got to hunt them down to watch them, because I would love for American soap opera viewers to watch Australian soap operas. I feel like Australian soap operas are closer to American soap operas than, say, English soap operas are. But the English soap operas are still good right now, while some more than others, clearly, if you look at my rankings. But I think you could get BritBox to watch most of the England soap operas, but we'll talk about that when I get to Coronation Street, maybe. Let's talk about Neighbours and why I do find it more watchable, because they're not stuck in the past like American soap operas. And American soap opera viewers will get mad at me for saying it's a dying genre. It's a dying fan base. All while they complain about these soap operas day in and day out. But I digress. Australian soap operas are pushing boundaries. We had the thruple going on between Ned, Amy, and Levi, and Days almost went with something similar, but they didn't. They chickened out because the American soap operas don't push envelopes anymore. In fact, some are stuck in the 70s apparently. But Neighbours has been going there with Ned and Levi, with Amy, and they even had a threesome, but then they were caught in bed by Amy's daughter, Zara. And I think Zara has been a great addition to the cast so far. Zara gave a lot of pushback to her mom for being with these two guys. And it made Amy take a break from both guys thanks to Zara. Zara even went so far as to try and set Levi up to make it look like Levi was coming onto her, with Zara being young. And I think Zara just it's a good young vixen for this show, which I think is a good addition for the show. It shakes up the younger characters on the show right now, which needs some shaking up. We had Zara basically get Nal to drink some alcohol. Nal being a child. So yeah, Zara's causing a lot of problems for people on the cast. And I can kind of compare her to, say, Esme on General Hospital, but less annoying. Esme's been pushed as just being one note evil, kind of, basically. She doesn't have a lot of redeeming qualities. She's a typical General Hospital villain, let's be real. But I feel like Zara at least is showing to be just a teenager with problems. So I like this kind of vixen as a teenager than compared to, say, Esme on General Hospital. So I haven't enjoyed the addition of Zara and her causing both chaos in the thruple and in the younger set. Now, when Neighbours went on their break in December, we had Therese hanging for her life on top of a building while Paul saved her. But Therese has developed feelings for Paul's brother Glenn, who returned to the show last year. But Glenn and Sharon started messing around, and that's become a bit of a quad, if you will. We have Paul still interested in Therese, but Therese is interested in Glenn, but Glenn's messing around with Sharon. So a classic soap opera staple there with older characters. It's solid soap opera from Neighbours for January. Like I said, it's far from great, but it's better than a lot of these other soap operas in my rankings. It's far more watchable than a lot of soap operas in my rankings. And I just really wish American viewers could find Neighbours more easily because they had a little bit of everything. They even did a stunt. Neighbours hasn't done a lot of stunts in the last few years that I've seen. And it wasn't a big stunt, but they had a storm and it ended up knocking down a power line and it crashed through the bar and it killed Brittany, I believe. Brittany Barnes. Like like I've been saying every Neighbors video, I'm still learning the characters on Neighbors, but it killed Brittany. So we had a death, we had a stunt, we had a little bit of everything. We have a new character. Her name is like Freya, I think. She's mysterious. She's kind of catching Levi's attention. So another new addition to the show that is intriguing. So we had Zara, the young vixen, and now we have Freya, a mysterious woman who Levi is showing interest in. I'm enjoying Neighbors for the most part. It is not even close to being in my top two, but it's far good enough to be better than all of the soap operas below it in my rankings for January. Also, the other Australian soap opera, Home and Away, is coming back from break. I can't wait for that to be back in the rankings. Another soap opera I enjoy compared to a lot of these soap operas that I've been getting on my nerves. Neighbours is up 4 spots to fourth place, and it's become solid. And I hope it keeps improving and it keeps being entertaining and keeps being good enough, or at least just stays better than the soap operas below it in my rankings that are annoying me.